What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Counter Weight Brewing Company, and they are out of Cheshire, Connecticut, and this is their Smoked Ein. So this is a smoked Helles style lager that comes in at 5% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed in time of review, and this can is just over 4 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Steven, for this beer, so a big thanks to him. In the description box I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that he sent my way, and he sent me a bunch of awesome beer. This is one of those beers, and I'm looking forward to it. So over the past year or so, I've been getting into smoked beers a little bit more. I used to strongly dislike them, and now they're tolerable to enjoyable depending on the beer, and I feel like smoked Helles lagers are more in my wheelhouse, so I'm really looking forward to this one. This is the first beer from Counter Weight that I'm technically reviewing on the channel. I think I reviewed a collab that they did with Von Trapp. That was a really good beer. I think that was like a Czech-style dark lager, I think, and it was delicious. But this is like the first one on the channel I am reviewing from them that was brewed by them. I've had some other beers courtesy of Steven from them. Their Doppelbock I should have reviewed a couple years ago. It was absolutely fantastic. Did not review it, drank it off camera. But I've enjoyed the beer that I've had from them. I think they make some really solid stuff. So I'm hoping that this one is right in that wheelhouse of being pretty good. So anyway, yeah, that looks like a smoked Helles lager. The clarity, it's more like, it's definitely unfiltered, because if you look, you can see the shadow of my hand, but you can't make it out. You hold it up to the light. Yeah, there's, I don't know if it's chill haze or just, again, being unfiltered, whatever the case may be. It definitely has a haze to it. Has about 1.5 fingers of this soap sudsy, bright white looking head, but I would say for like a Helles lager, I think that looks pretty good. It has a light kind of golden color to it, almost straw golden color to it, but good carbonation. Just looks nice for what you're looking, or at least what I'm looking for when it comes to a Helles lager of any sort. Let's get those. Ooh, yeah. So back here on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans, you got the two Schlenkerla beers that I have in the cans that I've reviewed. I reviewed both of those live. The Helles Meriton and then the unfiltered one. When it comes to, you know, the best smoked beers in the world, Schlenkerla, world class, right? And their Helles, I really enjoyed, but it was heavy on the smoke, and I feel like it kind of overshadowed the base beer a little bit. That's not happening here. I do get a nice, like, kind of barbecue-y, kind of like, yeah, like campfire kind of smoke, right? But underneath that, there's sourdough bread, nice bready malt character in general, a little bit of like a red apple, touch of citrus like a lemon and an orange. And it has this slightly, I'd say like herbal, kind of spicy hop character. But the smoke isn't going anywhere, but it's also not all that intense. It's more, I wouldn't even say subtle, but I think it just works hand in hand with the base beer. It doesn't dominate it. And it's not, in the smoke character sometimes can be a little bit sharp and too much, like it almost smells like smoked meat, like too savory, too, like, I don't want to say umami, but yeah, savory I think is a good word. That doesn't have an issue here at all. It smells really nice. I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Steven. Prost. Yeah, that's nice. What I enjoy about it is, I think, for me, the soul of the Helles is the first like 3/4 of the palate, and then the finish is where that lingering kind of campfire smoke hits me. Again, it's not that savory. Buying this one a little bit thin, 5%, I'd say higher side of light. Not watery, but thinner for what I was anticipated. A lot of German-style Helleses and straight authentic German Helleses have a little bit more heft, almost into lower side of medium or like straight up medium body, and a lot would say, you know, a lot of people would say full bodied for a 5% beer. This is definitely not that. It's, again, not watery, but also not fantastic. It's fine. The mouthfeel is really good. Very effervescent and crisp on the palate, smooth going down. So mouthfeel is better than the body. The taste, again, the first 3/4 of the palate, it's a proper German style Helles lager. There's bready sourdough bread, very complex bready character, and that's why I love Helles lagers. That complex bready note is what wins me over more often than not when it comes to the style. And in this beer specifically, it's sourdough bread. It's almost like a little bit of like a rye bread. Again, almost slightly darker kind of bready vibes, but also has like almost a toastiness to it. as it passes through, that lemon kind of zesty, kind of rindy feeling hits about halfway through. A little bit of like on the sides of the tongue, like there's orange, like an orange peel. Midway through the palate, orchard fruits, apple, pear, something in that realm. Not too big, like it's not like the predominant note or anything, but it's noticeable about halfway through the palate. And again, it's closer to the core of an apple or a pear. And then the finish, that lingering campfire smoke, it kind of hits, again, about 3/4 of the way through the palate for me, and then just lingers on to the finish. This finish is semi to full-on dry, mild bitterness, but very dry on the palate. And there's a touch, I wanted to say touch of spicy, and I said tuss. I remember, was it Berserker in the WWE? Tuss. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. If you watch this, Steven, do you remember the Berserker? Anybody else who likes wrestling? Anybody? But anyway, it has a touch of like a spicy kind of herbaceousness on the finish as well. This is nice. Is it amazing? It's hard pressed for me to go nuts over smoked beers if we're just calling a spade and being 100% honest. You have to take my ratings and what I think about a smoked beer with a grain of salt, like you do hopefully most of my reviews, just because it's not a style that I gravitate towards. But I've come to realize that I don't dislike them like I thought I did back in the day. And I'm starting to come around on them. But it's hard for me to go nuts about them because, again, a smoked beer for me is not my favorite. You know what I mean? Like Keith over at 93 Lumber, spelled out, of course, he loves smoked beers. So I could see him really enjoying this one. For me, I like it and I think it's damn tasty. But, and there's always a but when it comes to this style, or smoked beers in general, it's just not my favorite. But it's really well done. It's hard to argue the quality. As you can see, I'm drinking a bunch of it, and my palate's getting acclimated to it, which is, and the smoke character's kind of settling down even in the finish. So I think these are really nice, and I think if you like smoked beers and you like smoked Helles, this, I don't know what more, unless you're somebody who likes a savory kind of smoked beers, I don't think how you could really dislike this one. So Smoked Ein from Counter Weight, I'm gonna give this a high 4 out of 5, go 4.1. I think this is a really fucking good smoked Helles style lager. I see stylistically it's like a mid-4s. It's like 4.5, 4.6. They've done a fantastic job with it. But, you know, it's my personal preference. So it is what it is, as the kids don't say anymore. Probably haven't said that in like 35 years. It happens. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm showing off the can. We're just talking, making this review super long. Price by availability, I have no idea. So Steven, anybody else who can get counterweight stuff, I would hope this would be in like the $12 to $16 range for a 4-pack, closer to that $12 range. Or 12. If you go 12 to 16, I would be fine with like 12 to 14. If it got to 16, it'd be expensive, but hopefully it's more like $12 to $14 a 4-pack. Availability is counterweight. I have no idea. If you're in and around Connecticut, you probably can get your hands on them. Maybe they have a beer finder on their website. We don't see them here in the Buffalo, New York area, so that's all I know. So 5%, can't taste it, don't expect to. So huge thanks to Steven for this beer. If you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. If not, what's your favorite smoked beer? What's your favorite smoked Helles? I'd love to hear from anybody out there who enjoys smoked beers. Is there anything I should keep my eye out for outside of the Schlenkerla beers? Let me know. Thanks again to Steven. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers. Or should I say, prost. Double prost, double cheers.